Good morning and trick or treat. Today's date for the crypto day morning, Wednesday, the 31st of October, 2018. Happy crypto day. And while we're at it for unofficial holidays, happy Halloween. Nice little jack-o'-lantern or pumpkin found on Google Images. So nice little intro to start this video off. And Bitcoin on the charts continues to do its low volatile. This is getting crazy on the low volatility. All trades, bets, and of the like. Well, that's within your own risk reward. For myself, risk reward management, always job number one. And before this red candle down day on October the 11th, I thought this was interesting. It's low volatility that preceded such that was still at least making highs and lows along the way. But here was a spot where it kept on closing at around 6,400. And volatility was not only getting to that 1% level, but it was breaking below it. For the day before this move, on these inside day kind of moves or close enough to it, this was a day where the low was 63.83 and the high was 64.20 for a differential of 37 points. I mean, that was just crazy low. Yesterday's session, differential 49 points. And today's, which is 11 hours and 35 minutes into the day, or almost halfway through, 62.52 in high change, on the low 62.79 and a half. Differential almost 27 points, almost 0.5%. Just crazy microscopic tiny volatility, and it can only remain such for whatever period of time. But it does seem every single day I'm expecting this to continue on forth within the price action. We can see the sideways range amongst the 15-minute time frame. Meanwhile, on the long term, it continues its pattern of matching lows at around 6,100 down to 59, and lower highs even going back to the lower highs of like 17,000 back in January. But it just keeps on doing such. So then, that's enough for Bitcoin. Let's talk quickly about some alts. A couple trades were made, starting off with Cloak. And this is one coin I really do enjoy trading. I love the moves that it has had, it has historically had. As when we look at this on a longer term time frame, the up and down choppy moves that have been around within this market have been nothing but magnificent. So it is amongst one of my favorite coins to do that of trade. But even as one of my favorite coins within the year, or ever since the April Fool's rally, it has been grinding its way lower, really not giving much for sell opportunities along the way. But what I like about these moves is situations like this. You have this high, comes back down to this low. Even little bits here, this high comes back down. And then you have this high, which comes back down to this area. Now this high, and it's came back down to this level of support. I didn't mean to remove all indicators, but I'll show you how to do that as far as adding indicators on here. So indicators and strategy, I want my volume. So volume is right here. And a front weighted moving average. So moving average weighted. And I want two of them. So I click it twice. And then I'm going to have to go here. I'm just going to have to adjust such to 18 periods. And then one is going to represent a high, one is going to represent a low. Okay, so that's where we stand for that. As far as the buy on Cloak Coin, that would come in at 43.33. So it would have just most recently happened. As we can see here, down towards, well, around midnight, 1 o'clock, as it came down to the slow. It has started to rally since that point. Only about 5% or such. As far as my next orders from this point on, I'll be looking to buy at 37.55 and sell at 51.95 handle. The next coin, Komodo, as this one had the move from where this line at 2208, or what was my last lowest sell order. Now it's my second lowest. It has fallen from this point. Decent sized red candle down day on October 29th. And this is coming after this beautiful gain too. Part of the choppy action I'm hoping to be receiving. And then just a sideways day yesterday, continuing to move towards the downside. So there's your situation where you have a move like this down move. Obviously, it has a huge level of support in the area of 2018, really down to 2004. And then it has its quick little rally. It holds it for the resistance for a few hours, but not for too long, at least not compared to the support level. And as we can see here, it has basically given it all back and is now grinding lower. So you can expect it to continue to have a decent leg lower from this point. And when I'm saying decent leg lower, I'm talking on the single hour time frame. It wouldn't surprise me if this possibly comes down as to an area around the 19 low area, 1920s. But it just means that there might be a little bit more continuation of this down move from this point forward. And we look at the tops in here, we can see that it tops at 22.54, and it really keeps going down in this case till the point where it barely broke a new low. But it's also in a situation where if you're looking at this, oh, it's breaking down at 15.60, I got to get out. Well, okay, that's your decision to do at such the time. That's why I like this strategy, and whatever the market's going to do, it's going to do. But if it keeps on doing these up and down movements like this, I'm just going to profit on such. As far as my next two orders from here, they're barely moving. As every single time the prices move in this direction, like 1.2 to 1.5% area, there's a new buy order going down and a new sell order moving higher. So it's not uncommon for me to have a situation where, say, if it comes to 1800, even this previous level of resistance, I'd probably net about a good 8-9 buy orders along the way. And if this thing breaks out to, say, 26, starting at the 2179, I'd net a whole bunch of different sell orders. Of course, in a situation of, say, that were to happen, say, a move to like way high like this, that's where I got to decide, and I'm doing better at it, to liquidate a bit more, just a few extra tokens here or coins here and there, realizing that it's overextended and it's probably going to pull back. I unloaded just a small amount at like 22 change that I bought back at 20. So situations of that kind of nature. Sort of like if you say, okay, well, if I would have sold a bunch more up here because you knew it was breaking the extension point, then you could have bought more back. So that's really the way I'm looking at it from that point there. Let's take a look at another coin that is looking to break out, I think, and that is PIVX. And I'm looking to either buy it next at the 1852 handle or sell it to 24.5 handle. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's at 24.5 the way that it is looking. And you talk about moves that work out so well as far as the buying and selling. Let's just look at the numbers here. September the 10th, we have a high of 1750 and a low of 1100. So it falls 650 basis points on 17. That's about 30% of a decline. But then even a small move here, as this rally to the 18 highs goes up from the 11 to the 15.7, pulling back to like 13. So okay moves. But even here, rally up to 21 change, pull back down to 16. Decent profitability. You want to talk about profiting on the volatility. This is the type of measures that I talk about, or this is ways of doing it. Here you have the situation where this market manages to go up on this day. You have a high of 2074 and a low of, or a close rather, of 177, or 207 down to 177. Differential there is 34 basis points, or that of like 17% from the high to the close. So that gave you opportunity, if you were able to get a sell near the top, to buy it back. Then the next day, sell it again, buy it back again. And then with the low here on October the 15th and at 1653, and this at like 26, there's another better than 50% move. But even here, we can see how it goes from 26, pulls back down to 20. That's magnificent, because you could have a couple sell orders or one sell order get filled up here, and then it's bought and back. And now, of course, as we can see, ready to sell if it goes up here, which, of course, I'd be looking to buy back in that case. If it sells at 20 or the 245 handle, I'd be looking to buy it back probably at about 215 to 211 even. Be looking to probably buy around the 211 number. And if I buy at the 185 handle, then I'd probably be looking to sell somewhere at about 219, around there, somewhere up around here. But for now, the market's going to do what it's going to do. I'd like to thank you for tuning in to this morning's video. I'm not too sure if I'll have another one later today. If a lot of stuff happens, I will. And have yourself a great crypto day, as well as a great pumpkin day. Bye-bye.